Okay, hey there. So there I'm playing Stella by Starlight. I'm comping myself. I've talked about this in previous lessons, and this is something that just came up in a Skype lesson I did the other day where I suggested to my student that he should play Stella by Starlight using guide tones, both for just knowing where the guide tones are, which is good for soloing and ear training, being able to hear the changes, but also that it's an excellent tool to have when you're playing in a trio situation. If there is no piano player or comping instrument, you can play the melody and the chords at the same time. And I've called this previously for poor man's chord melody, right? So let's take a look at what am I doing, and I'll try to break it down and explain what it is. So first off, we need to learn the melody. So here is the melody. Okay, so it's not an exact science, right? This is jazz. So some of you might be saying, well, my real book says differently there. Maybe. But it's not like classical music where you know exactly what the notes are. Here it's more open for interpretation. So, but that's basically the melody. And as you notice, it jumps around a bit, which is gonna dictate how we end up voicing these guide tones. So what are the guide tones? The third and the seventh. And usually you start learning them on the two middle strings. The D, the fourth string, and the G, the third string. So if I start, for example, here, that's the G and the D, right? So that's the third and the seventh of the E minor 7 flat 5. And here's something that came up in the lesson is this question, don't you need the flat 5? It's like, no, you don't, actually. You could even leave it open like you're doing here, because that could actually be a regular fifth too, depending on who's playing. So if I just play the guide tones like that, it's gonna sound like this. C minor, F minor, G7. You get the idea. I could, of course, play the bass notes too, just to make it more obvious. Same thing, just adding bass notes. And all of a sudden it sounds like I'm comping. So depending on the situation, I would pick one of those styles of playing, right? So if I'm comping in a combo where there's piano players and everything, I might just throw in guide tones with more stuff, but it's a good solid foundation for what you can build on, right? For your comping. If there's just you comping for a singer, for example, then maybe guide tones and the bass note. Right? Or if you're playing a more early type jazz, then it's a whole different story. But you could go like kind of like that too, right? So it all depends on the context, what style of jazz you're playing. If you're playing really modern, all this stuff goes out the window anyway. This is kind of basic. We're learning the tune, all right? Now, if I want to combine the melody with the guide tones, it's going to be something like this, right? Oh, here I'm running out of... there's a problem here because I'm playing on the third string where I'm supposed to play a guide tone. So, we're going to abandon that. I'm changing my mind. We're playing the guide tones on these two strings. So normally you would start by learning them there, but we're gonna play them here instead. And depending on the melody and depending on taste, I'm gonna make some adjustments as we go. So now instead we have the guide tones here. Instead of, I'm just put the D on the bottom instead. Okay, so how am I fingering this? I think, well, all this style of playing very much comes from Lenny Breau, right? And I think, I'm not an expert on his playing, but I think what he was doing is he was playing kind of the melody with the outer fingers and the guide tones with the middle. Not always, but as a thumb of rule, as a default. So you could do that in the beginning. I'm grabbing the guide tones with those two fingers. Here it's a little bit trickier to do that, so I'm already abandoned that rule using my index. Now, the next little adjustment I'm gonna make is for the major seventh chords, instead of playing the third and the seventh, I'm gonna play the third and the sixth sometimes. You could make the argument that the sixth is the guide tone rather than the seventh. It also resonates better in certain cases, I think, because the major seventh is kind of tends to create dissonance between the root. So the major seven you have to be a little bit careful with. But if you play a sixth instead, it works great. So right? And then A flat. Now, here's the next problem. That's the leading note, or whatever it is called. Can't remember what it's called, but it's not a chord tone, it's a resolving note, right? So there, I'm just, if I'm playing the guide tones, it's gonna clash. So I'm just gonna not play anything there. I'm just gonna let the melody do its own thing. So again from the top. And now I'm back. E minor, A, D minor. There also the D guide tones sound funny, so I'm just gonna play like a stack of fourths on the G. Then we have B flat minor, the E flat dominant. Same thing with the F, right? So that note is dissonant because until it resolves. So I'm leaving that melody alone, or I'm leaving the guy. I'm not playing the guide tones there. I'm just playing the melody, and because the melody is moving a lot. So you don't need you don't have to comp every phrase. So E, A, and now I have to jump here. D7, G, C minor, A A flat, so, and then again I'm just playing sorry. Oh yeah. I might even play the C there. Okay, so now I'll play the whole thing again so you can get the idea. So all this is gonna be as a PDF on my Patreon page for you guys, and if you wanna just get this, you don't want to be supporting me there, but you just want this PDF, you can find me and PayPal me, and I'll send you the PDF. Now let's just add one more thing to this. There is this gap between the melody note and the guide tones, and that's an excellent place to throw in extensions every now and then to make it more hip. Here, so I'm grabbing an F sharp and a C, and the melody note is actually C as well. Let's throw in the sharp 9. So I could throw in the sharp 5 and even the sharp flat 9. So I could, there's room for 2 extensions. That was bad. Let me do that again. Here too I could throw in an F, which is the 13th of that A flat dominant chord. So there you have it. Guide tones, important to know, and combined with the melody, you are pretty much a one-man band. So I shall see you next time. Boom.